Alright, we're going to continue with War of the Visions tier list here. I made a really big mistake the last video. His name is the Rondell, and the other guy's name is Gragas. Unfortunately, Gragas isn't here, so I ranked those two the same. The other thing is, it must be pretty boring just hearing my voice the whole time with no music. Fortunately, don't want to get copyright flagged, so rather not try to put any music, but we'll see. I guess I could just always just put the War Division music in. No, wait, that's the Final Fantasy IV music right now. All right, let's get back to the list. Miluka. She just showed up as part of Spurare, who is Glaciala's personal little private army. Kind of just showed up in the story with like a little epic montage, like, hey, we're here to back you up, which doesn't really mean jack, to be honest. Margaret still died, so I would say story wise, kind of C tier. I mean, like, realistically, Cadia was the main character in that, like, in the in that whole reinforcement scene, right? That's her little sister. That's Glaciala's little sister. But Miluka just kind of came with her. So if she gets a C plus for that story, for that little story segment, or B for that little story segment, I guess Miluka gets a C. I believe she's MR, but like I don't never played her, don't never seen anyone play her, so I guess C plus, C plus, let's say C plus. Miranda, story wise, same situation as Miluka, but she story wise, she led the diversion in she works for Glaciella. She led the diversion against the back of Wazette Castle to lure the guards away. Not a glorious job. Like her soldiers even said it. Like most of them want to be like Vidal and just kind of run in right into the middle, run into the fray, and get some honor that way. So she's willing to do crappy jobs that no one wants to do. So that's a big plus to her. And she's a foreigner. She's not from Wazette. The reason she helps Glaciella is because Glaciella is good to her and her people. So I think for story, I give her a B plus. Battle, somewhat B plus. Cause Miranda, there's several ways you can use her. You can use her as Red Mage with jamming thrust, or you can use her as Time Mage. Time Mage Quicken is actually really good. So I would say like she's A tier in terms of like battle. So I guess that would bring her to B plus. Um, Murmur. Uh, I would say Murmur is story wise C tier. You can C plus. You can have her or you can not have her. Right. The whole point of having Murmur and by extension Grace is to have the Trinity, the Snow White card, so to speak. So Snow White card isn't just one person. So C plus, C tier, C plus in story. In battle, she does have some niche. The three guards team is a legit thing. So standard MR power, little bit better than standard MR power. So that's B plus. So I would get her here. If I'm putting her here, Grace I would put as B plus. Cause same thing for story, but Grace is second best healer to Ayaka for 6 months almost. So basically, she is MR. She's an MR that is UR tier, UR tiered power. In fact, she can be better than most URs for the fact that she can be completely resistant to magic. So that's why she gets an A for battle, B for strength. I mean A for battle, C for story. I think I like her design a little bit better. I think what's supposed to happen is the three masks are supposed to come together into one mask, and I guess that mask is the artifact. Maybe there was one mask subtly broke it into three and gave it to these three girls, and they each have a portion of the power. And I guess while I'm doing them, I'll do Whisper. Whisper, top tier tank. I can be resistant to everything if you build her right. So very niche build, but impressive tank. Um, Story wise, she actually has a story scene, unlike these two, right? Technically, all three of them were holding off Engelbert, uh, but the way that the scene played out, it looked like Grace was holding, looked like Whisper was holding them off by herself, which is insane. Which is also why I think the Solidus team is kind of crappy because Grace held them off alone. Maybe that Grace was 100% resistant to everything, so she was only taking one damage and was able to stall out Engelbert and Frederica. I think Engelbert, Frederica, and Lorenzo. I think Lorenzo is from Horn. But basically, if you're a but basically if you're a background character in Solidus and I don't remember you because you don't have no lines, yeah, that's a C. Okay, so I would say A plus for battle for Whisper. Design, I like how the three masks are supposed to work together. I do think she has the better design out of the three. And story wise, she actually has some story, so I'm putting her as A. I think this is not me. This is not Miwo. This is Nia. Nia has no story. Uh, Standard white mage, nothing crazy about her. Her story is that she is Sitzel's fiance who never showed up in the story. Story. So this is awkward because some people have no story. Like the brave XVS people have no story in this game. She does have a story in this game, except that she's dead since the beginning. So I guess I would give you a C. Hell, I give you a D for story, because like someone like Whisper, right? Or someone like Murmur. Okay, Murmur, I give her a C for story because she's there. Like she's there. You're not crucial to the story, but you're there. Uh, Actually, my criteria for C in the last two episodes I said was you had to be crucial to the story. You move the story along in some way. Technically, you can really just have Whisper, and you don't really need the other two. But I still give them a C because they kind of showed up. They're the Snow White Guard, and they make August and Durando jealous. In this case, oh my gosh, you showed up. You never even showed up to the story, right? You just showed up dead. You were just dead to begin with. Like, they only mentioned you. They name dropped you a couple of times in the first chapter, but like that was it. Like, she never even showed up, and she's never gonna show up because she's dead. Maybe she'll come out like eventually, and like, oh, I wasn't dead the whole time. But I feel like by then you'll have a love triangle between Lilith and Shitzel, and you just come back and be like, hey, I wasn't dead the whole time. I want you back, kind of situation. Um, I give her a C. Not particularly good in battle. I think she's a R or SR. Anyways, nobody knows, nobody levels her, nobody uses her. Um, Design, simple white mage design, nothing special about that. Story, I would give her a D for story, but I give her a C for story just for any kind of like future. Maybe she actually survived and she's gonna come in. There's gonna be a love triangle between her, Lilith, and Shitzel. This girl, shoot, I forgot what her name is. Basically, her, Yerma, and Etris are part of the Thirsty Three that kind of wanted to join Fordham to because they have a crush on Stern. Huh. I think Knight of Ruin Stern. Oh, there it is. Um, So story-wise, she's not even in the main story. Like she's part of like a reminiscent story. Because Fordham, actual Fordham, was talking about like their new recruits, and she was one of them. She went into a skeleton cave to clear out the skeletons, and somehow got lost right at the entrance of the cave. So that was weird. Um, I don't know how good she is in battle. I don't think people really use her. But when you're associated with you're associated with Beatrice, you can't really be that good. Sir Old, I hear people say he's pretty good in battle. So I would say he's B plus for battle. Storyline, huge badass. Like, uh, he's supposed to be Stern's mentor, and he does a very good job at mentoring Stern. And he sacrifices his life to protect the treasures and to protect Helena. So died, and he died standing. What a badass! He died standing. Gargust and Durando was like, "Okay, let's finish this, Soro." Soro, oh, he's dead. Died standing. This guy's a G. Odoa. I think Odoa is your classic like all meat no brains kind of character, but she did manage to outsmart Mont. So Mont falling for that dumb plan probably should go down a rank. Story wise, she has some story. Like she's not crucial to the story, but it did add something. So B in terms of story. Battle, she is an A tier unit. I believe with Exorcist equipped, she can easily be an A plus tier unit. Not a fan of her designs though, so I guess B. Or Limit Break is very interesting too. Phoebe, not a fan of her design, so design I would give her a C. Battle, I guess I give her a B. I believe she's SR and she's running MR UR levels of strength because of her versatility in Time Mage plus White Mage. And unlike another Time Mage, White Mage we know, she has Full Life, Quicken and Full Life. So very good support. Kilfei, she has the attitude of a robot. Uh, she works for Fennis. I guess she's their tactician. I guess she's their tactician in title, I guess. But like her story is kind of lackluster. I give her a B or I give her a C plus for story. Her battle prowess though is definitely A plus tier, so I guess B plus. And then it comes down to how good I think she looks. I think she looks pretty good. I like the very sleek and elegant feature. Rain. So Rain is gonna be in A tier. A or A plus. Let's say A plus. So I believe Rain is the main character of Brave Exvius. I could be wrong. But Rain's design is pretty cool. No story, so he has to go. No story, not because there's no story in Brave Exvius, because I never played that game. Uh, but no story in War of Divisions, and I don't know his story. So that is an NA. Battle, best mage tank. So that's if you're the best mage tank, I guess you're the best of something. I'll give you an A plus, or I'll give you an S. His design's pretty good, and he is my second or third. He's my second or third. UR. My first maxed out UR is my first maxed out UR is Ildira. The first UR I pulled is Ayaka. He's the third UR that I got to maxed out, and he was probably one of the earlier URs I can max out because of the weapon. Ramada in the storyline, I think of her kind of. She's one of Mont's. I guess she's Mont's tactician, so to speak. She's Mont's psychic. She tells them whether or not they're gonna win, but not really, because she's like, well, if I tell you you're gonna win, you'll get reckless. But if I tell you you're gonna lose, you'll get depressed. So I guess she's very keen on that. Been talking for close to 2.5 hours. Uh, but like you don't really notice her there. She kind of adds the prophecy and everything there. So battle wise, also B, story B, design, she's okay. Not a fan of the art. People hate her because she represents the whimsy shop. Story wise, she does get a ton of lines, but like it doesn't really motivate the story. She's more of a comedy, but she's more of a comedy relief with Below and her showing her kind of like love for Below, so to speak. Because Below thinks she's interested in Mont, but she's actually interested in Below. I was gonna put her in C plus, but since Below's there, let's have you face you can face each other. Ryrio uh standard MR power, but because there's a zombie variant, because there's a UR variant, and UR Ryrio is A tier or even A plus tier to be honest. So I would give her an A for battle. Story wise, I think he's very interesting. He's the hitman for Fennis. Uh, he kicked Shadowlings down a cliff. So yeah, I would say he's A tier. And I guess I would put the zombie one here as well. Design, I think he's very interesting. He's got the one eye, and then the zombie version also has got the one eye. It's very interesting. They kept that consistent. King Robb. Uh, I do like King Robb. I think he's one of the better kings. He loves his daughter, loves his son, mobilizes his army decently well, and he's very forgiving. Like Adelar lost that match with Durando and Gargus, and King Rob was like, everybody loses, right? But you haven't lost yet. I'm here to reinforce you. He personally reinforces his division commanders, which is really, really good for a king. Playstyle, I think he's one of the weaker URs, but he's one of the weaker URs, but he's one of the first ones to get the EX job level, so that puts him up there. Lorella, I really like her design. I'm a big fan of the Archer aesthetic. That Archer armor, she's wearing the classic Archer armor for Japan. Uh, Battle power wise, Ranger is a decently good job, so B plus. Her story is pretty cool. She has a secret love story with Skull, and because they're from the different clans, she ran off to save him. So I actually think her story is pretty good. I give her A. Skull, same thing. Same story. So let's have them look at each other. So Skull got hurt. She saved him. They have a little romance together. Skull gets ambushed. She went to save him. They were fighting Zazan, and Zazan, being the only rare unit, actually killed an MR. So yeah, she sacrificed herself for Skull. So just for that, you get an A in the story, even though this is completely side story. Has nothing to do with the actual story in the in game. Alright, Leela. I find her pretty annoying in terms of like the actual story, but she does make some good calls, like looking at the caravan for for Mashiri. She does make a pretty good she does drive the story along. So I give her a B for the story portion. And power version, she is A tier in terms of like actual battle. So like she is probably one of the best healers and one of the best farmers in game. So that's definitely A tier. Her problem is she drives. She does have a part in the story. Otherwise, she would be A plus with Eldira. But because her role of the story is kind of decent, it's like a B tier role. I'm brought her up to A. I'll put these two together. I'll see them as the same. Sosha is part of Fardam, and she's basically part of the story as well, but like you don't remember her as much. Battle wise, she's a B, so story wise, she's C plus. I guess she can be in B plus with. I get these two mixed up all the time because long hair, Lancer, black armor. Shadowlink's total badass in the story. Gets pushed down a cliff, climbs it back up, fights a ton of soldiers, kills them, and keep going about her mission. Um, Battle wise, A tier unit for evade teams because of the illusion. I don't know why I have two of her. Several. He plays second fiddle to. He plays second fiddle to. Sergius in the story, so I give her a C for the story. Uh, I don't particularly think he's all that strong in battle either, so C plus. This guy, all I know is he's got the best accuracy in anti-evade, so I guess he's a little bit stronger than your standard MR. His design is not bad, so B plus. Sergius, his opening line is like, his thing is all about I'm holding back on you. um, I give him a B because his storyline is interesting. So he was sent by Curry to go kill Mont. Mont and Glaciella worked together to beat him. So now that he's defeated, Mont was even like, "Here, you can take me captive. I just need to go see Curry." So he does take him captive, but meanwhile he respects Mont and he gives Mont like advice and tells Mont like where to find Rubius to help him fight Venice. He tells Mont like, "Hey, I wouldn't go in there if I were you," you know. So I think I value his honor and I like his honor, but his whole "I'm always holding back" kind of thing isn't that good. So I don't really like that. Stern, I'm gonna separate him two phases. Phase one, he's a good son. Like he's a good son, but a terrible prince. His father leaves the castle to him and Helena, and in order to save Helena or protect Helena, he kind of surrenders it. As a son, I think that's pretty good. So uh, story wise, let's give him A for that beginning part of the story where he wants to protect Helena. He wants to protect Sir O. So beginning part of the story, he's decent to Mont, you know, good guy. I put him as an A because his battle power is A as well. So I could put him at A. Super Stern. Super Stern's battle ability is S tier. His story is just a lot of him grunting and I'm gonna kill Mont. So I think his story isn't particularly good. I guess we'll go B or B plus. Let's go B plus. Oh, we're almost done. We're almost done. Shitso is interesting. Shitso first act consumed by anger because Muraga killed his girlfriend. Gets injured. Um, Here's the interesting thing. He's kind of, I would say he's a good friend. He basically sacrificed himself to let Mont escape. Was that so? Just for that act alone, I give him an A. He's got a, I'll give him a B plus, but he also got a little love thing going on with. I think those two got feelings, so you got a little love thing going on with Lilith. So I'm gonna put his story at A. All right. Unfortunately, got loyalty issues. I mean, but the way they did it is very good. So he starts out as Mashuri's bodyguard, and they're on the same level in terms of like story power. So he's Mashuri's bodyguard. Uh, goes crazy, runs off on his own to fight Moraga, loses. And then Horn starts attacking Leonis, and he kind of changes sides. Not really, because he didn't really kind of changes sides to help Mont, but that's with the understanding that Mashuri loves him. So technically he's serving Mashuri and helping Mont. That's how. But he kind of does kind of swear allegiance to Mont later on in the story. So that's kind of like a you can kind of say that is not loyal, but technically he's loyal to Mashuri and he's hoping them the two get together. So you never know in the end. So story wise, I put an A. Battle wise, never used him. Standard UR, standard MR, so B power level. So I guess B plus. Not bad. Leela is the hot-headed one in the in Need for. So she is Adelard's little sister. I think the role that Leela plays in is kind of like she's always she's kind of head first, headstrong, runs in there first, shoot first, ask questions later kind of type, balanced out by Alucard's cool and calculating demeanor. Unfortunately, Salir A tier in terms of power, right? A tiers in terms of power, but story wise, she kind of gets annoying midway. Story wise, I guess she would be C plus or B in terms of story because you can kind of have her or not have her. You kind of have her as a way of explaining through her, Adelard explaining through her why he didn't attack or why he needs to wait, etc. Don't know this guy, don't use him, MR power, so I guess C plus. Uni, this Uni and several are about the same in terms of like story. I think in terms of power, Uni is actually a little bit weaker. The worst part is I can't tell if he's a girl or a guy. His voice is kind of that of a guy in the actual show or in the actual game. Oh man, Veto. This guy's your headstrong sister lover, so to speak, because I think he only listens to Marguerite. He kind of bails on Glaciella towards the end after Marguerite dies, which I can understand. Like, your sister died partly to save Glaciella. Unfortunately, he doesn't understand that she died to save Glaciella. To him, Glaciella sacrificed his sister. So yeah, so he nopes out of there. In terms of battle power, I don't think his battle power is that good either. So C plus. Victoria definitely A plus unit. Definitely A plus unit. Battle amazing. Storyline she plays the seductress and like backstabber betrayer. So I think she does it really well. Because she's so charming. I love her design. I would even put her S tier. Uh, except like her allegiances aren't figured out yet, so that's part of the reason why she's A plus. Oh. Vanira, Vanira A tier design, A tier battle power. I really like the story. I give her A plus. You know, I give her A. So she looks at Dario, and the reason I'm giving her A is after Dario saves her and they're in the field somewhere and Dario's kind of just lying down, kind of just abandons the body. What's up with that? You love him one minute, you love him so much, the next minute, oh, he's dead. I'm just gonna leave his body there to feed the buzzards. This guy's in Fordham. So this guy's from Fordham, but you don't really remember too much from him. So he kind of be there or he doesn't. He can be there or not be there. Wouldn't really change that much of a difference in terms of story. Battle wise, I guess C tier would be SR level. Distraught, standard MR gunner, I believe. Story wise, him and Caesar, I think are the third division commanders of Howlet, not Howlet, of Horn, and he betrays them. Doesn't say for what though yet, so they would forestallingly. So I give him B plus. Kiza, because the TMR, she's really high. But in terms of battle, she's not that good. I give her, let's say, A for battle, just because she has that super high move and charm ability. So for PvP, she's actually really good. The story is pretty good. He outsmarted Engelbert, trapped Engelbert and King Robb. So I give Lestrade B plus for story, B plus for character design, and B plus for battle power. So he's B plus. Zazan is definitely uh, I give him A tier. Properly depicts the mortal scene. Properly depicts the immortal scene and very like and if you're an NR or if you're just an R and you can beat UR teams, yeah, that's pretty good power. Incredible movement speed, very fast, moves far, and has the ability to charm. A class right there. Yorma, not really a fan of the design. She's part of the Thirsty Trio. Put them all together. Part of the Thirsty Trio, but she's a little bit stronger than they are. So, guess here, people. All right, and that's it for my video on War of Division's characters tier list. I hope that was enjoyable for you. Unfortunately, it took 2.5 hours. Thank you for tuning in with the Ultimate Chi. Have a great day.